Hi everybody, Ann and Spencer here.
Hi.
So the question for today is what are the different styles of wedding photography? So we'll just jump right into it. The different styles are, there's photojournalism, portrait journalism, portrait or posed, which would also be called traditional. I'm going to just say that those are generally the main three there. So on the insides, all right, there's traditional, which when you think of traditional, think of purely posed shots, like family shots where you have family group shots, or where the bride is intentionally looking at the camera, obviously posed.
Yes, or another typical traditional idea is the bride looking out a window, but almost in a too perfect of a way, or like gazing down at her bouquet, like perfectly framed, with like a waterfall behind her or something like that.
Where something very posed.
Yeah.
And a normal traditional photographer will bring a good bit of lighting with them to a wedding. So like, I mean, seriously, their lighting will take 10 to 15 minutes to set up and 10 to 15 minutes to break down, depending on the photographer, of course.
And assistants.
And assistants, but they will typically have an assistant helping them carry the lighting because it is a good bit. Their shots will be very well exposed. They'll be very well lit. Should be. Like the traditional, the best of the best of traditional would be very well posed, very nice. And you would think not necessarily real moments, definitely not, but very nice photographs. On the opposite side is photojournalism. This is a style that Ann and I actually prescribe to more ourselves, but we're not completely. We'll get to that in a second. Pure photojournalism, a pure photojournalist is someone that does not interfere with the story. Think of it like a photojournalist for news, where in fact it is their oath that they do not interfere with the scene.
Right, they document what is happening and they don't interact.
You can even think of it like nature photojournalism when there's something getting attacked. Like they don't go and help them or something. Like
they don't go
they're
help
documenting they're documenting everything and not interfering at all. One of the most well-known photojournalist photographers is Dennis Reggie, and he will not talk to them unless spoken to. He's not going to say anything. He's going to be walking around the entire day, not saying anything, just getting shots and looking like a guest.
And that's his particular style. There are other people who are photojournalists who also don't pose at all, and they interact a little bit more with the bride and groom. It's just a personal style. A little bit.
A pure photojournalist, though, is one that doesn't interact whatsoever, and they're purely capturing the real moments of the day, no posing at all, period. Even Dennis Reggie will post some, though. Everybody pretty much has to post a little for group shots.
And also, they're not carrying around a bunch of equipment. That's true. They're a little bit more flexible because they need to be in the right place at the right time in order to capture a really great image. Right,
a great moment. Otherwise, you miss it. And so there you go. Now, the other in between is a portrait journalist, which is somebody that combines the two. Portrait journalist. So they will pose some. They will have some nicer lighting perhaps with them. That may take them longer, but they also focus on the photojournalism, capturing and telling the story of the day. And so they're going to focus more on capturing the moments. As far as advice, go with somebody that you like. If you like their photographs, first you want to ask how they got them. What did they have to do to get those? Like, was there an intensive lighting setup? How long did it take to get that shot?
Right.
Did it take them,
Did you flash during the ceremony? If that's something important to you, you ask that question. I mean, we can go into that with another question of the day. But ask those questions. If you're more informed about the styles of photography, you can expect how long it will take them to get that magical image, the fairy tale image, or a more realistic image of your wedding day.
And definitely, and also post-processing too. But that's a whole other thing. But those are the main styles. Photojournalism, which is purely candid, purely moments, and purely not talking to anybody. Portrait journalism, which is a mixture of some posed and some photojournalistic, going back and forth. And it's purely traditional or portrait, which is only doing the pose shots and not typically getting many real moment shots. Now, of course, everybody in any of those three will mix to some degree.
Right. Everybody's going to photograph the ceremony, and that's obviously something that's happening. They're not, unless the church doesn't want you to take photographs during the ceremony itself and they reenact the ceremony, which we've never
right. And
had to deal with.
And a true photojournalist would refuse to reenact.
Right, but everyone's going to shoot the ceremony, which can be considered photojournalistic. Even the traditional posed photographer is going to shoot that. So, I mean, there's back and forth.
There's back and forth. But that's the general answer. So you have your photojournalistic, you have your portrait journalistic, and you have your posed.
Yep.